I'm Brandy with Life Intense, and today we're going to do a show and tell of our Life Intense Timberline Exchange. This is a 6-meter or 19.5-foot diameter bell tent that has a few unique features that are really perfect for people that have a glamping business or want to keep a bell tent up for long term. The most unique feature on it though is that it has a door that can be completely removed and unzipped and replaced whenever the current door gets dirty or gets damaged from guests that are frequently going in and out. Aside from that, you're going to find that the canvas itself is dynamic. It is made to withstand water and mold better than any other canvas on the market today. And right now I really want to just kind of walk through and show you what it looks like when it arrives. It's going to arrive in 2 boxes because it is large, therefore it is heavy. The box here down below, that of course is the tent itself. The second box there, that contains your poles, your ground stakes, and your guy line ropes. So FedEx will deliver it in these 2 boxes. It's really helpful once it arrives that you have someone or a dolly to help move these from the delivery point to wherever you're going to be storing them until you get the tent up. What I'd love to do is just kind of take you through a tour of the tent itself, get it set up, show you all these wonderful features that we've incorporated into it based on a lot of consumer feedback. And also right now what I'd love to do is kind of walk you through and point out what's inside of each of these boxes. Okay, so I've opened up the smallest box to give you an idea of some of the hardware that's included inside of that. First of all, you're going to find 14 guy line ropes that have these metal tensioners on them. And these of course are going to be tied along to the edge of the bell tent themselves. I like to use a slip knot when I do that so I can remove them if necessary or adjust them whenever that time is needed. So we've got these, and they're also reflective. You might be able to notice this. So at nighttime, someone's got a flashlight or something, they'll be able to see that as they're walking around in the dark. Also included is this bag of ground stakes. Inside of this bag, you're going to find 2 different types of ground pegs. Both are steel. This one, the smaller one, these go around the ground sheet of the tent. There's 14 of these included. They're nice length, nice and pointy on the bottom to help you stake them in on most any ground you run into. And then these bad boys, these are rebar. These are super strong. It helps get through almost any type of soil. But these are what are used to attach the guy line ropes to. These are super durable. You can pound them into like most any soil, like I mentioned, but they're also great to help with any wind that comes your way that might try to rattle your bell tent loose. So we've got 14 of each of those inside of this bag. And then we also have a bag that contains your center pole, your A-frame pole, and your wall pole. Inside of the bag, you're going to find 13 of these outer wall poles. These help to give the bell tent more form and function and help it to stay looking good. Because sometimes you'll notice that bell tents are saggy. That's because there's really not much structure out there if the guy lines aren't tight or the setup is kind of awkward. So these help to provide a better form and function with your bell tent. And the main reason we have them, aside from that, is because they kind of need them because our walls are taller than your average bell tent. So these are inside. Also in there, this here is the A-frame pole. You can see it's spring loaded, it's all connected, and you just assemble this, and this helps to create the structure for the entrance for the door. So that's in here. And your key to the setup, your center pole, which is also spring loaded and just connects together. And you'll notice that our center pole actually has 2 loops on there to help you can hang accessories inside of your bell tent as well. So that's what's inside of the smaller box. And we also have the carrying bag that all the poles go into as well, with a nice shoulder strap so you can haul that around if you're going on adventures here and there. So then let's take a look at the tent. So in that larger box, we've got the tent bag. So all that's in here literally is the tent, nice and tightly rolled up. You can see that this tent has still plenty of other space. Even after the first time you roll the tent back up, you're gonna not have a problem getting it back into this bag. In fact, there's enough room to put the pole bag in here as well. However, then you're looking at like 150 pounds to be lugging around, but which you probably don't really want to do. Another nice feature, talking about our amazing tent bags, is on the sides we've got these handles. These handles are all right. You can kind of like, you know, do this if you wanted to. But what we found is easier to do is having straps on the side so that you can actually carry it around, grab it with your own hand, with your own arms, or have a friend grab each side of it. So that's the complete setup right here. What we'll do is I'm gonna go and set this tent up. I'm gonna try to do it right now. If I can't, I'll do this tomorrow. But just a heads up, one other key thing, if you're not using a platform, what's not included is a ground tarp. We sell these in 6 meter, 5 meter sizes, or 19 foot and 16 foot sizes. This is great to put on the ground, especially if you're setting up in grass or not on a platform, because that helps keep the bottom of your tent cleaner, especially when you're rolling it up. You don't have to be wiping it off. The condensation won't be on the bottom of your tent. Same with dirt, leaves, bugs, etc. And this also helps to keep your tent nice and insulated. Just one more layer between your tent and the ground itself. So there we have it. Let's get on to getting this thing up, huh? So I took the tent out of its bag and I actually unrolled it here onto the ground Tarp Footprint. So I took the tent out of its bag and I actually unrolled it here onto the ground Tarp Footprint. And I made sure that I found where the door is. It's kind of obvious. The side that looks a lot different than the rest of them. It has a door on it. And so that was my next step. Now in order to set it up, what I need to do is actually tie these guy lines on to the tent itself before we can proceed to the next step. And we're going to tie them, and all of this information is in the instructions. In fact, we've got a full tent setup video on our YouTube page if you want to check it out. But all the way around each corner, you'll find these canvas loops, and this is what we're going to tie a slip knot onto to tie the guy lines on. So the first time you set up one of these is going to take a little bit longer, as you got to go through this process and you know, get acquainted with it. What I'm going to do is go around and tie all these on. I'm going to stake out the ground floor, and then I'm going to insert the poles and get this thing up, just following all the instructions that are included, and another nice video that you can watch on our site, like I mentioned. All right, see you soon. All right, I got this tent set up a couple hours ago and came back down here. I wanted to make sure to give you a tour and show you what this tent looks like when it's fully set up, and kind of share with you some of the special features that the Timberline Exchange has, especially the most important feature, but there's several of those. So let's go on a little tour now. And there we have it, the Timberline Exchange 19.5 foot bell tent. From my angle, the sun is behind me and just blaring directly on the tent right now, really highlighting all of the features. I'm sure we'll be catching plenty of shadows as we walk around and take a look at this. But we'll coming in here, just focus in on the wall posts here, so you can see how they work. There is a grommet right here that the pole itself will just go ahead and get inserted in there and lift up the wall nicely. And we'll take it out. You can see the before and after. There's the before. If these guy lines get extended back out, that won't be as drastic, but it also won't be perfect. And this is why we have these. If the walls aren't tall, you simply install those all the way around. You can see what else that does is allow any rainwater to roll down here and right off the eave of the tent there. All right. So walking around, we've got one window there. It's got no-seam mesh. We've got another window here, and we'll see those closer when we go inside. But what we have here is an entry point for electrical. There's a zipper right there. You can bring solar, you can bring in a pipe, hose, whatever you want. Zip that back down. So there's one here. This actually has 3 of them on it. Depending on where your electrical or hose setups are coming in from, depending where your setup is at, we added a few of them so that you could have some flexibility. And there's another one there. See the windows. And then the third one is located here towards the front. What else this tent has for some features are 2 stove jack exits. There's one located here and there's one on the ceiling inside, and we'll point that out. This one can be used for a stove, or we've realized that a lot of people are exiting AC exhaust out of their tent. Sometimes there's putting it out the window. It's not the most ideal situation, but this gives you a little bit of flexibility if you wanted to get your AC exhaust out. There's just a hole built in already. If you needed to make it a little bigger, you certainly could. It's going to take some other engineering depending on the type of AC unit you're trying to use. But this is here. It exists, so that makes that option a little bit easier with whatever unique setup you might have, or you can run some other things in and out of here. So we've got a lot of entry and exit points that are covered on the tent that really allow flexibility for your camping or glamping needs. So that jack has a 5-inch hole existing on it. And then up here is our traditional location of our stove jack. We've got a 3-inch jack to exit your stove out the ceiling of the tent. So this can be actually cut to the right size. You can install a flashing kit and then run your stovepipe out through here. All right. All right, let's enter inside so we can take a little bit of a tour in there. So we got the zipper here. We've got the canvas door and we got the mesh door. Let's go inside. We've got the center pole going up. Again, that's about 11 and a half feet tall. Got a place where you can hang some accessories up there. We'll pan around here. You can see all 6 of the windows. So go ahead and show you the window. It's massive, first of all. We'll unzip it. Because it's so massive, you're gonna get some massive airflow in here. And then you have the option, we've got these loops here and underneath. There's like a dongle, and all you do is roll this up. So I'm attempting this with one hand, and you just connect those two. Do that on both sides. As we continue to look around, we'll look up here and just point out the vents on the ceiling. You can see that there's 6 vents up there. That helps for air circulation, helps condensation, allows that to leave, and really helps your tent to feel a lot more comfortable, along with the breathable canvas as well. Over here you'll notice there's a pocket there in the corner. There's a pocket there next to the door. And again, you can see the stove jacks inside of the tent. One thing to note is most all of our other tents, they're double walls, which means that There's a mesh interior wall along with the canvas wall. This particular tent only has a canvas wall. It doesn't have a mesh wall. And to compensate for that, that's why we have 6 windows in here, so all of them can be open for circulation. But the reason it doesn't have a double wall is because of that stove jack exit right there, or for AC units. If it has a mesh wall, it's not possible to pull that off. So remove the double mesh wall on this, and so it just has the one single canvas wall. But the wall is connected to the floor via a zipper. It's right here. So if you wanted to, you could unzip this all the way around the whole outside. And then you could, if you wanted to, you could roll up, physically roll up the canvas and use those loops there and the dongle that's on the other side to literally have this full wall being off the ground. Now the key feature I want to show you now is what makes this tent truly unique, is that door can actually be removed and replaced and or cleaned and or repaired and put back on. Or you can purchase a separate one so that in case there is an accident, you can quickly just swap it out if you're in an emergency to have it function again or not be dirty or just needs to get prepared. So how this functions is based off of some engineering, lots of engineering that we pulled off here. So we actually have a zipper going all the way around the perimeter of the door. And you can unzip the door itself. And you can continue that process. I'll go ahead and do that. And to note, I'm zipping an SBS zipper, super durable. Look at that. No door. There's the door. And we can continue and we can finish unzipping the bottom as well. There we go. And now if we wanted to replace it, we just continue to unzip it all the way. And then we zip it back on, which I'm going to do right now. So there you have it. There's the tour of the Timberline Exchange bell tent. Hopefully I covered everything that you were interested in learning about this. If not, feel free to send us an email or shoot us a text, and we'd love to answer any other questions you may have. But this thing is really made for a hardcore glamper, camper, someone who's going to keep this thing up for several months, someone who wants to outfit it with electricity, stoves, AC units, heck, water. This thing is made tough, and we are really proud of it, and we hope that this could be something that you could find useful on your camp or property. And if you have any other great ideas for any innovations, always shoot us an email or thoughts. We'd love to be one step ahead and coming up with some great ideas that help get more people out there to camp comfortably. All right, take care.